Hello, hello, hello. My name is Ashley Kirkwood, founder of Speak Your Way to Cash and the host of the Pitch Your Way to Cash Challenge, which is coming up for speakers, experts, entrepreneurs, and authors who are looking to land more clients and create their own opportunities and really be in the driver's seat. That's what we do. That's what we help people do. So I'm going to be talking today about a case study, $1 billion consulting secrets, that I did on Boston Consulting Group. So if you've never heard of Boston Consulting Group, Google them. We're going to be diving deep into how they grew their business using some strategic tools that you too can use at home. These are some of these tools, some of the things that they use are things that we teach in our Speak Your Way to Cash system. The Speak Your Way to Cash system is something that we talk about often in our high-level programs, our mastermind, and our academy. So y'all need to stay put because we're about to go into some really, really, really good information. I've never done a case study like this on a $1 billion brand, but as I was reading their history, y'all, I don't even know how I got on this, but I was reading the history of Boston Consulting Group, and I was like, yo, so much of what they did in the 1960s to build the foundation of their business, we can still leverage and take advantage of today. And I was like, I don't know if my clients know this, but a lot of the things that we teach, a lot of the things that I'm telling y'all to do, you can leverage to grow an amazing, 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 amazing brand. All right. So let's dive in. Let's dive in. All right, so number one, let me tell you a little bit about Boston Consulting Group. This is directly from their website, but since 1963, they have been known to help leaders and organizations build lasting advantage. So their whole thing is like, we are a company that you hire when you don't want another client solution to be your solution. They're all about innovation. They're all about driving key business decisions. They're all about serving high-level companies. They are literally one of the largest consulting companies in the world. And y'all, they were not built like hundreds of years ago. Okay. This company came to be in 1963. 1963. All right. So this is the founder here, Bruce Henderson, and they're always challenging the status quo. And it's given the firm the courage to look beyond the obvious to find solutions for more than 50 years. Now, the first thing that struck me when I was reading about this company and looking at their history is that, number one, I think this is right. Their Chicago office is in the same office that I used to work in. So I used to work at a firm called Kirkland & Ellis, a large law firm. I believe that's them. Let me look it up because I want to be accurate. You know, this is live streaming. Because I think this is the right one because there's a couple big firms. Yes, it is. So I wanted to be 100% accurate. I wanted to be 100% accurate. So yes, every day when I would go to work, I worked at 300 North LaSalle, downtown Chicago, at a firm called Kirkland & Ellis. Now, our firm was the number one, or is the number one litigation firm in Chicago. Like, you ain't getting a better litigation firm than Kirkland in Chicago. Just not. And they were one of the top 10 most profitable firms in the world. That's where your girl used to work. And I would come into work and there would be another set of elevators that I would pass on the way to my elevator bank. The company that I was passing was the Boston Consulting Group. They too are in 300 North LaSalle, also top of their game. They're considered one of the big three consulting firms. Now, you all may be wondering, why are you talking about Boston Consulting Group? Why are you telling us this history? Why you got this guy, Bruce Henderson, all on your new Vibe? This is Mrs. Vibe. This is what we're calling her. I'm telling you all this because, one, the company was founded in 1963. That's not that long ago. When you look on their website, they'll tell you, like, literally, they've been finding obvious solutions for clients for more than 50 years. That's not that long ago. So the things that they did to grow their business are not only relevant, but a lot of the things that they did in the 1960s to grow their business, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, you can still find remnants of those things today. Literally today. Literally today. Some of the same names, some of the same framework. So what does that mean? They're all about giving their clients competitive advantage that lasts. They did the same for their business. So first lesson that I want you to take to build your next $1 billion company is you want to have remnants of what you sell in your own business. So if we teach sales, we have to know how to sell, right? Like, that's just That's just simple, right? So if you teach branding, you want your branding to be good and you want it to be timeless. If you've been following me for any period of time, you know that I talk about teaching timeless sales strategies. Why is that critical? Because if you want a business that's going to far outlast your reign of the company, you need to be teaching timeless sales strategies. So y'all gonna want to take some notes because we only on like slide 2. All right. And literally, you can learn more about Boston Consulting Group by going to the Boston Consulting Group page and looking at their homepage. A lot of this stuff is on there. But what I'm going to do is do the case study in a way that I am pulling out for you all the revelations that I received in studying how this company grew. If y'all are ready to grow, drop grow in the chat. If you're listening to me on the podcast and you love the case study style of this particular episode, then what I want you to do is send me an email and I will be able to know that y'all like this stuff, and I'll do this for more companies. Because one of the things that we do is that I think about with my team how my billion-dollar companies, the companies that I used to work for that were billion-dollar brands, how they grew. I think about how they grew and I figure out how close can we get now today to implementing some of those strategies to help our own company grow. All right, let's get into it. So number one, a little bit about them. Like, why are we talking about them? Why does it matter? These are the results of growing a brand that teaches timeless strategies. And what I love most about this particular company, for those of you watching this, is that when you're a speaker, you're selling intellectual capital. This company sells services. Any service provider watching this can take the principles that we're about to talk about and apply them to their business. And this could be your result. What if it took you 50 years to grow a company that does $11 billion in annual revenue? Would you be mad at it, or are you down for that? Like, if you're down for that over the next 50 years, which is still in our lifetime, then just put down in the comments. Like, I want you to really think about this. This is what they've done. 25,000 employees. All right, shout out to y'all. Let's talk about this. A lot of you want to grow big businesses, but you hate hiring and firing. Got to get over that. You're going to need a team in order to grow. You're going to need a team in order to grow. You're going to need a team in order to grow. Like, there's just not, when you're selling services, you are essentially selling the thoughts and ideas of your company and your team members to other companies to help their companies grow. Well, how do you get better thoughts, better ideas, more innovation? Typically, you're going to get that by leveraging the thoughts and ideas of people. Well, how do you get great employees that are brilliant? One, they recruit from top universities. They also have really good training, but their interview process is intense. It could take months. It could literally take months. I remember interviewing for a consulting firm. They asked me questions that had no right or wrong answer, but they were trying to evaluate at every stage of the interview process how I thought. One of the things that we take for granted, like, and I tell my clients this all the time, I don't want like task pushers, people that I have to say, oh, did you do this? Oh, did you do that? Oh, no. I need thinkers. I need people who think creatively and strategically and who enjoy trying to see through doors and around corners. Why is that? Because we as solutionists, what we're selling is that ability to think at a high level and help our clients get a competitive advantage. So you're going to need employees. Then they have 100 offices in over 50 countries. Somebody write global in the chat. Somebody write global in the chat. And if you're listening to this on the podcast and you want to see these cool slides on Mrs. Vibe, then please do watch this on YouTube or on the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page. But global, 100 offices in 50 countries. Very early on, they started doing global business. Let me share this with you guys. When I was an undergrad, I studied business in Brazil. We studied Afro-Brazilian culture. We studied business in the Dominican Republic. We specifically studied advertising. I studied business in Jordan, water irrigation and its impact on the economy. And then I studied business in Morocco in law school. Okay. Every chance I got, the reason I traveled outside of the country, outside of, the places where we typically hear about, the Caribbean and all that, the reason I tried to go as far as possible was because I understood that the more I could own my global citizenship and think differently, strategically, and creatively, the more opportunities I would have to be innovative. If you consider yourself extremely innovative, but you absolutely abhor getting outside of your comfort zone, traveling, seeing new things, studying different cultures, it's going to be difficult for you to have a global perspective. And why is a global perspective so important? Because guess what, y'all? What happened in the Ukraine affects us here. What happens in Russia affects us here. What happens in Asia that shifts economy there affects us here. When there's a recession here, guess what? There could be global recessions. Our gas prices were high, but did you know they were higher in Turkey? Why does this matter for what you do? If you sell services, if you sell products, if you coach people, you want to be able to be conversant in what is going on outside of your city limits. Another thing, you don't want the unknown to punk you. If the unknown is always punking you, it's going to be very hard to be innovative. So they went global early. If you study their history, one of their earlier offices was outside of the country. I read some of the things that the visionary leader would say. Some of the things that Bruce Henderson would say is that we're going to change business in America and then the world. So from a very early stage, his idea for his business was to change business in America using their products and services and then the world. Here's what I want y'all to learn from this. If this is good, drop good in the chat. Here's what I want y'all to learn from this. We need to start thinking about if we got a critical mass of clients to implement what we teach, how would it change America? How would it change the world? That's what we want to start thinking about. How would it change America? How would it change the world? So if you don't have a vision of how, when you get a critical mass of people to consume or use your products and services, it would change their city, your state, the country, and then the world, you got to get one. Because when you think about building $1 billion company, $1 trillion company, like we think about Apple, we think about Amazon, those companies change the way we do business. Google changes the way we do business. So what I'm saying to you is I want you as homework today, right after you listen to this, to allow yourself to think, am I building a business big enough to have the impact that is required to make the revenue that I desire? Am I building a business big enough to have the impact that's required to make the revenue that I desire? One of the best lessons that my uncle taught me, y'all, was that if you chase money, it may flee from you. But if you chase impact, the money will come to you. You want to create a product or a service or something that has such a positive impact on the lives of others that they get what they desire, you will inevitably get what you desire. Are y'all tracking with this? These are the things that came up for me when I was reading about this $1 billion company. Here's another lesson. When you see Amazon in the news, when you read the Financial Times, when you read all of these, the Wall Street Journal, and you read about what these companies are doing and how these companies are marketing and how they're promoting, I don't want you to immediately divorce yourself from success. This is something that we talk about in the Speaker Ready Cash book, part 1. What a lot of people do is they're like, Boston Consulting Group, 25,000 employees, I can't hire a VA. This can't be relevant to me. That's the wrong mindset. Wrong mindset. You are always one email, one phone call, 1 second, one pitch away from getting everything you desire. If that's not enough to wake you up in the morning and make you want to go after it and do what you need to do, then I don't know what is. Every day I'm looking at my emails, not because I have so many, like I do have a lot of emails, but I'm not just looking for like the spam emails. I'm looking for the opportunity that will change my life forever. You're always only one away. You're always only one away, okay? So 100 plus offices in 50 plus countries. Y'all gotta go global. Gots to go global. You have to do that, right? 11 billion in annual revenue. That's not the value of the company. That's what they're bringing in annually. That's what this company is bringing in annually. So another way to look at this is this. They're 11 billion in revenue, 25,000 employees. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, here's another way to look at this. I'm gonna see if we can do this. This thing is so cool, y'all. On podcast, I'm using Mrs. Vibes. That's what I'm saying. Okay, they're 11 billion in revenue divided by 25,000 employees. I know that this number represents a lot of people to some of us, But do you know what this really means? This is how I think about it. I just want y'all to know how your girl is thinking over here. This is how I think about it. Let's get Black up here. All right. So they are 11 billion, 25,000 employees. That means for every employee, this company is bringing in $440,000 per employee. So 11 billion divided by 25,000 is 440,000. So one of the ways that I think about this is like, okay, everybody ain't making 440,000. They do pay very well. I believe they start their associates around the 6-figure mark. I'd be shocked if they don't. Most of the big firms do. But like everybody's not making this. So what this means is that they might still be profitable. I don't know. I don't got all they facts and figures, but they might still be profitable. But one thing I do know is that you as a small business owner, if your revenue is like 100,000, then you shouldn't have 25,000 employees right now. But whenever you do start getting your employee base up, you want to be looking at the numbers and figure out, okay, how much does each employee need to generate or help me generate in order for that hire to make sense? Are y'all tracking this? Like, where do I, like, when I'm looking at my situation, you know, we do $1 million. We have 11 employees. How much does each employee need to be generating or helping me generate, freeing me up to generate so that makes sense? Okay. So that's something to think about too. Is like, are we looking at our numbers strategically so that we're hiring the right people at the right time and the profitability and the numbers and it all adds up? Because a lot of times what I see business owners do, and business owners do it, employees do it, they're like, oh my God, you just had a $100,000 launch. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, we got team members. We got team members and we have stuff to do with that money. That money doesn't go to the owner of the company. Like the CEO is not paying himself $11 billion in revenue. So let's get into some more stuff about how they actually did this. What fueled growth? All right, so I was looking at what fueled their growth, what they did in the very beginning to get to where they needed to be, how they started off, what it looked like, all that fun stuff. So let me go back here. I got all these screens. All right, so when they first started, you guys, one of the things that they did in 1964, they developed a new approach to marketing a consulting firm. So in 1964, what I'm about to share with you was new. Somebody say innovation, okay? So when they first started, here's what he did. Now, today, y'all are going to be like, that's not innovative, but for then, it was innovative. What he did was this. He created something called perspectives. It was highly provocative essays on strategy, and he made them a small enough size. This is Bruce, the founder of the company. He made them a small enough size so that they fit in the pockets of executives because that was who he was targeting. What do you learn from this? Your marketing should be such that it is easy. It could stick, like it's easy and it could stick with those that you're targeting. So he knew he was targeting executives. He wanted it to fit in the coat pocket of the executives. And it was a new approach on marketing. Now, here's one thing that I found really important. So he had the, all right. It's called Perspectives. It was essentially like a little brochure. But here's what I found really, 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 really cool about this. One, it fit in the executives' pockets. But at first, they were just sharing information that was written by other people. Okay? At first, in the very, 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 very beginning, it merely excerpted ideas from other publications that had appeared in less user-friendly forms. So what does that mean? He took what other people were doing and he literally, what do we call it now? Like when you take content and you, he repurposed other people's content into a format that worked better for his ideal customer. Yeah, you're going to have to join via Facebook, the Speak Your Way to Cash page, to see all of the slides. So one of the things that I thought was really cool is that he did that. So that's number one. But then number two, what I found super interesting was that after a while, they went from sharing other people's ideas to opining on their own ideas in these publications. So what does that tell me? What does that tell us? What does that tell you? You can start off by repurposing other people's content, opining on other people's stuff. But even if you do that, you need to start infusing your own innovative ideas into the stuff that you share so that people can see that you are still a thought leader and a visionary in the space. It's literally what we're doing right now. We reviewed the history of the company. I had my own thoughts about it. I pulled out some excerpts. I'm giving it to you all. Some of the content is on the Boston Consulting Group website. Like you can literally go there and read it, but you can't read it like this. So if you're someone who's like, I don't have content, I don't know what I'm sharing, I don't know how to do this, then you want to make sure that you may start off by sharing other people's content, giving it to people in a more bite-sized format, but then eventually you want to start just sharing some original, creative, innovative content because that's what it took to really take off. And what's interesting is you could still find information on their website and different articles about perspectives today, and now it's online. Now it's online. Why? Because that's more user-friendly. That is more user-friendly. So I thought that was really interesting. Then they reported on it. So they sent this out. They reported on other people's content. Then they gave their own thoughts and ideas on the content. Literally their own thoughts and ideas on the content. And then from there, what's really cool is they ended up creating something that I love to talk about. They ended up creating their very own frameworks. After they started reporting on their original ideas, they created their very own frameworks. And literally, it was just the founders' way of thinking about the issues that their clients were having. Two frameworks. And these two frameworks still are driving the foundations of their business today. It's on their website. They have the growth share matrix and time-based competition. Those are their two frameworks. Him and his team came up with it. He ended up getting the team pretty early. So the reason frameworks are so critically important is because it is literally your formula for solving issues, but it's your innovative way of thinking about how you're going to solve business problems. What keeps you from competing on price is always going to be your frameworks, how you think about a particular problem, a particular situation, a particular issue. So this is some really, I really loved reading about this because I was like, oh my goodness. Like this is exactly what we tell people in the Speak Your Way to Cash family to do. Create your framework. Own a piece of the market by creating your framework. So I thought that was incredible. I was like, oh my gosh. And what's so great is their frameworks are timeless. They're so timeless that literally you're able to look at what they did in the 1960s and see the evolution of it even today. Like, so cool, right? So I thought that was amazing. They created their own frameworks. That was really, really dope. So what can you learn from this? Number one, you're not too small to play big. You are not too small to play big. So number one, now here's what I'm going to write. Instead of writing play big, I'm going to write this. Plan big. Plan big to play big. So now that you've seen this, you can't unsee it. You've been exposed to it. My favorite affirmation is God doesn't tease me. And so there's no way that out of all the companies in the world, I would have thought to man, you used to work at Boston. You used to work in the same building as Boston Consulting Group. You now do consulting and training and speaking. I was looking at also the industries that this particular company serves to see if there's any commonality in the industries that they serve and the industries that I should be serving, or that I serve currently. Then I was looking at, okay, what is their capabilities state? What are all the areas in which they operate? Okay, are they landing contracts in these areas? Is there room to subcontract in a particular area? How can I meet with some folks in this particular firm? Well, if my company, Kirkland, works in the same building as folks at Boston Consulting Group, it is 100% likely that I am one phone call away from meeting with someone at BCG and figuring out what subcontracting looks like, or going in the government database and looking at opportunities to subcontract. Like sometimes we're so close to our next level that we just like, we don't even think about it. We let opportunities pass us by. So I've already contacted like people that I used to work with. I'm going to a networking event at Kirkland next week after my Pitch Your Way to Cash challenge, all the things. Because when I see something like this, even though it's on a history website, nobody contacted me about it, my first instinct is like, what am I supposed to do with this information? I do not assume that I just saw it just because. All right. So 1, plan big to play big. 2, you need a framework. You need a framework. 3, you need to market. You need to market. You need to get your ideas out there. You need to share what your ideas are. You need to tell people who you are. You need to dominate your area of the market. And you need to be comfortable saying, like, I'm the best at what I do. You need to market. And here's the other thing you need to stop doing. This is a big one. You want to stop doing this ASAP. Stop doing this ASAP, like ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Stop discounting your ideas. Stop discounting your ideas. Stop assuming that everyone else is smarter than you because they look differently than you. They say it differently than you. You have billion-dollar ideas that maybe you're not acting on because you don't believe in your ideas the way that you should. Or you pitch it, but you only pitch it once or twice. You don't like go all in on pitching your ideas and spreading the word about what you do. You have to stop discounting your ideas. You have to stop discounting your ideas, okay? Like that's not going to get you anywhere at all. At all, okay? So what do I want you to do now? I want you all, those of you who found value in this, those of you who are like, man, this is dope. I can't believe she rocked it like this. This is cool. I learned something new from this, and I know that I want to grow a big business, but I need help getting the word out there about my business. I need help pitching to new clients. I don't really know what to say. I just need more confidence in doing this. Then I want you to go to pitchyourwaytocash.com and register for the Platinum All Access Pass to attend our event. It's coming up next week. I'm super excited about it. Mrs. Vibe will be there. Mrs. Vibe will definitely be there. So I want you to join us. Here's how you join us at the challenge. Go to pitchyourwaytocash.com and register for the challenge. You'll have a brief application. It'll take like 5 seconds. And then go here. And when it comes to selecting your ticket type, y'all, I want you to select the VIP All Access Pass. It's under $300. We'll give you our most profitable LinkedIn and email pitches. We'll also do a private Q&A just with those who have the Platinum Pass. We'll also allow you to join not via the Facebook group, but via a private Zoom link. We're going to give you special offers and bonuses. And we're teaching live for 5 days. If you're on Instagram, you can DM me the word challenge and I'll send you all the details. If you're listening to this on the podcast, Facebook, any of those sites, then you want to make sure that you go to pitchyourwaytocash.com and apply. And then register and select your ticket type. If you apply, but you don't select your ticket type, you are not registered. So you want to apply and then register for your ticket type. Get a VIP Platinum All Access Pass, okay? That's what I want you guys to do. And here's what's so interesting about this. And let me see what time it is. Okay, here's what's so incredibly interesting about this. It doesn't take a long time to apply for this particular challenge, like at all. It will literally take you a few seconds. So all you are going to do is just go to www.pitchyourwaytocash.com. Now, if it doesn't work for you, just put in the www right beforehand. And look, it comes right up. It comes right up. So you go here, you apply to join the challenge, and then we will make sure that you get everything that you need to actually join this particular event. It's going to be incredible. I cannot wait. I'm really excited about working with you guys. Here's who we work with. Let me just explain who we work with. High-level entrepreneurs, experts, people who know their stuff but may need help packaging it, people who are highly credentialed and or have a successful business, speakers who've gotten paid some to speak but really want to increase the amount of money they're making speaking, and or they want to use speaking as a marketing tool to sell more services, folks who know really, really well what they do. Like, you know what you do, you know what you're good at, but you need the confidence to put it out there consistently. You need timeless sales strategies that work, and you want to utilize and leverage the Speak Your Way to Cash system that has helped several of our clients land 5- and 6-figure contracts. That is what we do. That's who we help. And I'm hoping that you all got value out of this. I'm excited to bring you guys more incredible content just like this. If this was good and helpful, I want you to share it with 3 people. Just tag them in the comments and or send this podcast link to them now. And let's help some more people out. All right, let's help some more people out. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm so excited about what we have going on. I'm about to hop in a Clubhouse room with a friend of mine to talk more about what we do here, because guess what? You got to market. You got to market. You got to market. You got to market. Okay. So like, that's what I'm about to do next. Go and market my services, share my billion-dollar ideas with the world, and keep helping speakers, experts, and entrepreneurs play bigger than they've ever played before and earn more than they earned last year. So I'll talk to y'all later.